What's going on, people? Black Americans should never support DACA. Before I get started, I would like for you guys to go to another YouTube channel that I have, Spooky Spooky. Now, I'm going to put the link on the bottom and you guys can go there and subscribe. It's a channel that I've had for a while, but I never used it. Okay, now I'm going to start uploading videos, and once I get a certain number of subscribers, then I'm going to start talking about spiritual things or maybe the Bible. I titled that page Spooky Spooky because of the so-called black conscious community that whenever you speak about the Most High or the Bible or spiritual things, they term it as being spooky. So I just created a channel, Spooky Spooky. So I'm going to put that link on the bottom and you guys can go there and subscribe. But as you see the title, I don't know what more I can say or anyone can say to Black Americans regarding illegal immigrants or DACA. And it's interesting that you have so-called black politicians that's going hard for DACA. I understand that there are Democrats and they're vouching for the party that they subscribe to or they follow. But nothing was done for Black Americans and Latinos under the Obama administration. The Democrats have never done anything to better the condition of the so-called Black Americans and Latinos, but they're working over and beyond for illegal immigration. I had just got done speaking to a couple of young people earlier yesterday, and they were telling me that they're going to school, they have a child, and they work a part-time job. They're on a 2-year waiting list to get into public housing. And even not only that, one of the young persons were told that they make too much in order to get into this certain program that will help him to pay the down payment for his rent, because he just got out of prison. He's trying to better himself, and he's working a part-time job, but yet he makes too much money. Although he's working minimum wage, he makes too much money to go into a program, so he had to give up his hours or certain hours to be able to meet the criteria to get the first month's rent and security deposit for an apartment. But yet, you have illegal, undocumented immigrants that can come into this country and get right in. Not only do they get right in, but they're also giving funds. They're giving money to get started. They're referred to as dreamers, but yet no one's paying attention to the American-born citizens that are dreamers. What about my granddaughter? What about other people's children and their grandchildren? They're dreamers too. They're looking forward to the future, but yet nothing is given to them. We have to jump through hoops in order to get benefits that our tax dollars are paying for. But undocumented immigrants could come here and get right in. And you have no idea who these people are or where they're coming from. Another thing too, if these politicians are so concerned about DACA and undocumented immigrants, why don't they take them into their homes and support them? Why do you have to use my tax dollars to pay for someone that we don't even know. But yet, when we need benefits, we have to jump through hoops to get those benefits that our tax dollars are paying, but yet you're giving away the benefits that are for Americans to illegals that don't even like Americans. So, but I want you guys, I'm going to play 2 clips for you. One is regarding Van Jones. Now, the title of this video says, Van Jones says Black Americans need to support DACA dreamers, and Trump is wrong in this one. Now, Van Jones is not married to a black woman. Van Jones does not live in the hood. Van Jones does not live where the undocumented immigrants are going to live, but the undocumented immigrants are going to be put right along with black people. So black people have to deal or live next door to undocumented immigrants. Van Jones and other Democrats don't have to deal with that because they live in their nice homes out in the suburbs with his white wife. Keep in mind, now I don't know if she's foreign or not, and maybe that's why he's going so hard when it comes to illegal immigrants, but his wife is not black. So like I mentioned in a video on my Fearless 2005 channel, every brother is not a brother because of color. See, it's easy for him to get up there and tell black people what they should do and talk black problems and issues. But yet, he don't deal with black issues. He don't even have a black wife. So who gives him the right, what gives him the right to speak to black people or speak or suggest to black people that they should support undocumented immigrants when the undocumented immigrants are to replace black Americans? They want them to be able to vote to keep the Democrat Party going. So DACA is to replace black Americans while black Americans being pushed further down in the gutter. But I want to play this clip. I want you to listen to Van Jones. Listen to him.
He's supposed to be the transactional deal maker. He has the advantage of this amazing platform, the American people tonight. I don't think he did enough to use the leverage.
So, let me just say, master salesperson. He used all of those stories really well. He was selling sweet tasting candy with poison in it. What he said about those young people, he implied, and he did it deliberately, that dreamers are gang members. And when you look at the numbers, facts matter. Facts matter.
Facts matter that some dreamers are gang members.
No, you want to know what the numbers are?
That's a fact.
You know what the numbers are? 39 kids. Out of this, is according to the U.S. government. 39
one of those 39 kids killed those two twins.
Hold on a second. It's completely unacceptable to take this issue, which is, we have a moment now where 90% of the country agrees that these young people deserve a shot, and to smear these young people the blood.
Van, I would just say this. I would say this, Van. Hold on.
It's wrong. It's morally wrong.
Stop for a second. Just listen. Let's see when this gets to the floor of the Senate. Actions, not words. Let's see what the Democrats vote.
We're talking about a speech.
Stop. No. Listen.
We're talking about a speech.
You talk. Now, when the Democrats get a chance to vote for path to citizenship for close to 2 million kids, let's see what they do. Actions, not words, Van.
Hey, listen. I'm interested in hearing from you, Senator. I have to say this. We are in a moment now where we could come together and get something done on a bipartisan basis. Republicans cannot continue to smear these young dreamers and associate them with gangs that they're not a part of. It's wrong.
Well, first off, the idea that all dreamers are, quote, dreamers is ridiculous. There are dreamers who are not dreamers. There are dreamers who are not doing well. There are dreamers who are criminals. Look, and the idea, and you've created this very important narrative that these are all top of the class valedictorians, that we want them all. And what Donald Trump is saying is, look, This is a mixed bag.
Why didn't you talk about the good ones?
But everybody talks about the good ones.
I got to go to Will. We will continue this, I promise. We'll continue this.
Okay, you heard Van Jones. He's talking about those young people need a chance. But yet, what about the black and Latino children, or even the poor whites that's on the bottom that need a chance? These are American born. These are citizens that need a chance too. These are citizens that are also dreamers. Okay, so why is he going so hard for undocumented, illegal immigrants? Why should America spend our tax dollars on people that we don't even know? And why should they receive benefits that even we can't get or over us? It makes no sense. But I want you to listen to another video. And this is a Fox News where a father of son killed by illegal immigrant insulted by Democrats. Now, black people, this right here is showing you how much the Democrats care about you. Okay, now it's easy for y'all to rail against because you've been brainwashed. So it's easy for you guys to rail against Donald Trump, although you see what he's doing. You hear what he's saying, and you see what he's doing. What have the Democrats done for you? Or demon craps. What have they done for you? What have they done to better your condition in this country? But listen to this news article.
Joining us in the audience tonight are four very brave Americans whose government failed them. Jamil's 17-year-old son was viciously murdered by an illegal immigrant gang member who had just been released from prison. Jamil Shore Jr. was an incredible young man with unlimited potential who was getting ready to go to college where he would have excelled as a great college quarterback. But he never got the chance.
Last night, President Trump honored the families of victims killed by illegal immigrants. Our next guest was invited by President Trump last night. Jamil Shore Sr., his son killed by an illegal immigrant. He joins me now. Sir, thank you so much for joining us. We are so sorry for your loss. Can you please tell the viewer what happened to your son?
Yes, March the 2nd, which tomorrow is the anniversary, I guess you can call it anniversary. He was shot in the street like a dog by an illegal alien gangbanger who was on his third gun charge, was just released from the L.A. County jail that same day. And he, according to the gang code, he had to go out the same day and assault black people. So he found my son, shot him in the stomach, and while he was on his back, according to the coroner, with his hands up in the air, shot him through his hand, blew his fingers off, and shot him in the head and killed him right there on the same street he was born on.
Jamil, we're so sorry, for your loss. This is just completely horrific and a disgrace, what is happening and what happened to you and your family. And again, we thank you for sharing that with us. President Trump says the media is ignoring victims of violence by illegal immigrants. Do you and your family feel that way?
Oh yeah, in L.A. they won't even mention when they commit crimes. You know, they shut me down. All the newspapers won't report on anything I do because they don't want people to know in the community there's people fighting for justice, and everybody's not a legal alien lover. You know, some people like Americans better. You know. And they feel that they can't really go after me because what I'm saying is true. It's all documented. So they just ignore me and hope I go away, but I won't.
Jamil, Democrats last night audibly groaning, even booing President Trump's measure to protect victims of crimes like your family, crimes that are done by illegal immigrants. When you heard that last night, what the president said, and you heard the booing by Democrats to what the president was saying, what was your reaction?
Yeah, it hurts. It hurt my feelings, especially when you see all the black caucus. They say they stand up for black people, and here there's a black kid not bothering nobody, no criminal history, 3-time MVP, Player of the Year, getting recruited from Stanford, Rutgers. All you gotta do is stay alive, and you hear people upset like I'm doing something like some kind of foreign thing that I'm doing. I ask them all the time, well, what would you do if a legal alien shot your loved one in the street like a dog? And they always understand where I'm coming from when they put their family members in that same spot. But to hear them booing like that is, it's just disrespectful.
Jamil, has any Democrat stepped up and talked to you about this?
Oh, just tell me that I'm being used by the white man. Pretty much every politician in LA. I've been in Sacramento, Washington, D.C. I did everything, and, I'm doing all I can do. And of course not. They accuse me of starting a race riot or accuse me of being a racist or I'm a sellout and stuff like that. I'm fighting for my son. I'm pissed off.
Yeah.
We had plans. We had a whole life, and now it's all over because of illegal aliens.
But, Jamil, what do you want to say to Democrats now?
What would you do? Like I ask them all the time, what would you do? If it happened to you, would you do something different than I'm doing? Or would you do the same thing? And it's usually the same thing. They'll sugarcoat it and act like it's no big deal, but they know where I'm doing right, and they should be right along with me, especially the Black Caucus. They need to be ashamed of themselves. A lot of them live in California, and they know what we're going through as black people in California. There's no more black communities and no more restaurants. All the schools are full of illegal aliens. You have to learn Spanish just to even go to school. It's not fair. And they sit there and they watch and they do nothing. And then when somebody positive comes along, they just tear them down like they're the problem.
Jamil Shaw, Sr., thank you so much for your time again. We are so sorry for your loss, but what you're doing is a service to the country and for the country.
Thank you.
We thank you. Please come back on the show again soon, okay?
Now you hear this. This is a black man. They called him a coon. They said he was being used by the white man. Now that sounds familiar. And you know what? It's funny because you have white people that's showing sympathy towards him. The Republicans. You have Trump that's standing up, that's speaking in defense of people like his son against illegal immigrants, trying to protect them. But then you have the demon craps that black people follow, calling him a coon and telling him he's being used by the white man because he's trying to get help because his son was gunned down like an animal in the streets by a gangbanger that was sent out to target blacks. So this just goes to show how illegals that come to this country feel about black Americans. Because they know you're on the bottom. And who are they going to attack? The ones on the bottom. Because when they come to this country, where do they put these illegal aliens? Right in the communities with you. Right in the communities with you. And you have to watch them excel above you while they're undocumented. So I just thought I'd share that with you. I don't know what more to say other than to blacks really don't need to support DACA. You really don't need to support DACA. DACA is not for black people. DACA is to replace the so-called black Americans. You would be a fool if you continue to not only follow or support DACA, but support the Democratic or Democrat Party that cares nothing about you, that did nothing for you but take your money and get your votes. They only use you for your votes, and they use you to stand on the front line and fight for their cause. And the number one thing that they're using against Trump now is racism. Because all they have to do is say somebody's a racist and black people will follow. Black Americans will follow. Especially the ones that exist with closed eyes. Your eyes are closed, you're not awake, you think you know, but you don't know. But at the same time, you are being replaced. So share this video, pass it around, subscribe, click on the PayPal button and financially support this channel. Until next time, I'm fearless.